we need to implement the similar method of the restaurant class, which takes in a restaurant and a number of similar restaurants to return, and finds the most similar k. There are many notions of similarity. They're close in distance, they have a similar rating, a similar price. Maybe they're similar because the same people review them, meaning the same people go there. Whatever the case is, I think we have another opportunity to introduce modularity by passing in a similarity function that takes in two restaurants and tells us how similar they are. Now the job of the similar function, its concern, is not to determine the similarity, but determine the k most similar restaurants to self. Why don't you try doing that? Implement similar, a restaurant method that takes a positive integer k and a function similarity that takes two restaurants as arguments and returns a number. Higher similarity values indicate more similar restaurants, and the similar method is supposed to return a list containing the k most similar restaurants according to the similarity function, but this list should not contain the restaurant itself. It would be silly to say the most similar restaurant to Thai Delight is Thai Delight. So we'll define the similar method, which returns the k most similar restaurants to self using similarity for comparison. And what we'll do is build a list of all the restaurants except for self, and then sort it according to some key function. And then there's an opportunity to manipulate the sorted list. Sorted is a built-in function that takes some iterable and some key function and returns a new list containing all items from the iterable in ascending order according to the custom key function. And you can use a reverse flag, but we didn't use that in our example. Why don't you spend a minute and try to fill in this implementation? Pause the video, and I'll go through the answer in 3, 2, 1. Others is a copy of the list of all restaurants, and we need to remove this restaurant, which we do using the remove method. And what do we pass in to tell it what to remove? Self. That's the element of the list of all restaurants that we do not want to include in the list of similar restaurants. The key function for sorted, just like the key function for max and min, must be a one-argument function referring to an element of the others list. So how do we make sure that others is ranked according to its similarity to self? Well, we write down a function of one argument that computes the similarity between self and R. I've negated it so that most similar restaurants come first and the least similar restaurants come at the end. Now that we've sorted them all, we don't want to return the list of all other restaurants, but instead just the top k, which we can do with a slice.